Hello and welcome to the channel, all viewers, new and old. It was a nice sunny day today, so I thought I'd get out here. And I touched on it in the last video. I wanted to review my Outsunny Polytunnel 1 year on. I've not completely inspected it myself yet, so we're going to kind of be discovering how it's fared together. So let's give it a look and see what the general condition's like. While we're doing that, I'll kind of go over what I would do differently if I was to rebuild it again. Then the biggest question, and the reason you probably clicked on this video, was it worth it and should you buy one? Let's find out. One of the first things that I'm noticing is a lot of the seams have picked up a lot of algae. I can clean them, but it'd be interesting to see how deep the algae is. Has it gone right underneath and am I not going to be able to clean them necessarily? But the overall condition of the cover on the outside is looking pretty good. I'm quite satisfied with that. There was a little tear in the corner over there, but that was my fault. I did install the cover slightly wrong. But on the plus side, it hasn't ripped anymore, and we've been through a fair few storms, as I'm sure you all have that are in the UK, and it's still here, it's still standing. That rip's not got worse, so I'm quite happy with that side of it. What I did notice though is that the netting has started to rot. It's not too bad yet, but I have got a hole in this one, and these tabs, this will just fall off in my hand, do deteriorate fairly rapidly. Anybody from Outsunny watching, just make these out of something a bit stronger, because they are just brittle and ridiculous. And then this will just fall down. I won't be able to keep it held up, so I'm gonna have to try and think of another way to do that. Maybe some sort of adhesive clip or something to fix that problem. But the netting itself is starting to deteriorate. I can fix that. I'll probably just use some general purpose netting that I use to keep the insects off of my brassicas, and a bit of glue. But I'll have to be careful about what sort of glue I use so it doesn't eat away at the plastic. So yeah, as far as the cover, on the outside, it's not looking too bad. There's a few things that are letting it down, and that's the fabric aspects of the Polytunnel. Now I've said that, let's just do a quick general sweep and make sure that I'm not lying to you. Coming around the front, looking pretty good still. This side's actually looking better. However, as I was just speaking about, the tabs that hold these flaps up have gone on both sides. Not fantastic as far as that, because obviously that's how you let your ventilation in, and it will just turn into a sauna slash steam room once it gets a bit warmer if I don't sort that out. So I'll have to sort something else out to sort those clips. One thing that I do see people complain about, but we'll find out in a second if it's an issue for me, is the zips. The zips tend to perish. A lot of people just make a door in the first place, sandwich the front between two pieces of wood and cut it, and then just make a door. To be honest, just on first looks, the zip doesn't look too bad. I can't see any deterioration on it yet, so we might be all right. Let's check it out, shall we? Let's see if this falls off in my hand. Right, let's see. Can I have a drum roll, please? Is this zip just going to come off in my hand? No? It's going up fairly smoothly. To be fair, I have been pretty gentle with this when I've been opening it, because I was aware that it is a problem people have had. However, so far that zip's looking pretty solid. The tabs. This actually happened, didn't even get through the summer. There's tabs that hold this up as well, and they just came off in my hand one day. So this I've been having to roll up and then just balance it on top, which is annoying because as soon as there's a gust of wind it flies back down. So again, I'm going to have to try and sort out some sort of clips to fix that problem. Look at this. So it's a bit ridiculous. It'll probably blow in a minute, and I'll just have it flap down while I'm in there. Anyway, yeah, I have had a look in there. It's looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The actual structure itself looks pretty good. Let me turn you around. Got my beds in here. No rusting on the metal. There is a small hole there. Apparently that's quite characteristic of these types of polytunnel that have the mesh plastic. After a while, plastic perishes and small squares pop out. It has stretched a bit. I can see that the plastic has stretched a bit, and it's given it a bit of sag. But it's not too bad at all. If you go back and watch the video of me making this, you'll see that I put these ridge poles in as extra ridge poles. It only comes with the one ridge pole across the top. That is one of the things I would do differently. I wouldn't install these. I would just build a timber frame inside, which is what I'm actually going to do in a later video. I've ordered the timber actually to do it. I'm just going to put timber across this frame all the way to there, and then I think I'm just going to screw little hooks in it to hang the strings off to do my tomatoes and other bits to climb up. I think that'll probably, one, it will look better because this looks awful hanging there, and two, there's not as much danger of the garden wire that I put on there piercing through it, and I get my canes back, which will be quite helpful when I'm trying to build some structures in the garden. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. All the woodwork's dry. The frame's not twisted or bent, and it's still here. I have seen a lot of people on Amazon and the comments on this same polytunnel. This is the Outsunny polytunnel 2.5 meter. If you look it up on Amazon, look at some of the reviews, it's just carnage. Some of them are just a twisted mess on the floor. So I highly recommend, if you are gonna buy one of these, do what I've done and build a wooden skeleton inside it, and use the tree stakes on the corners at least. I've put one in the middle there. I did run out, I only had 5. But put these in to support the bottom of the frame, and then build your beds around it. It will be a lot stronger, believe me. And it's definitely worth investing that extra. I mean, you might be able to pick them up for free, but it was like an extra £20 that I spent. The polytunnel itself was only about £50. The major drawback to this size, which was the 2.5 meter, is that you can't buy replacement covers for it. If I want to replace the cover, then I have to buy a whole nother polytunnel just to replace the cover. So I think when it comes to it, I might just buy some polytunnel plastic and try and see if I can make it myself with the structure that I've got here, instead of buying a whole polytunnel just for that. If you do have room, then I would recommend getting the 3 meter one, because you can buy the replacement covers for those. So if the cover lasts a couple of seasons and it's knackered, you can just buy another one at least. But with this one, yeah, you don't want to have to buy a whole new polytunnel. I know it's only £50, but it could be 20 or 30 if you're just buying the cover, you know. And it's not very sustainable. So yeah, that is one of the major drawbacks. Is it worth it, or are you better off just either not having a polytunnel or saving and spending a lot of money on a proper industrial grade polytunnel? Well, here's my answer. I'm gonna say absolutely. It cost me £50 for the polytunnel, another £20 to reinforce it, and I grew some wonderful, amazing bits of food last year that I was really happy with, and there's no way I would have achieved without it. So just for that, it's totally worth it. The main thing that lets it down is the cover. Like I say, if anybody from Outsunny does happen to stumble upon this video, that's what you need to invest in for your customers. Decent covers. We would happily pay a bit more. This £50 polytunnel, I would pay £100 for, and it would still be considered a budget polytunnel if that cover was twice as thick and with better components on it. And I'm sure a lot of other people would too. So yeah, the key points for me: buy it, but know you're going to have to reinforce it, know that the cover's not going to last forever, so if you can, get one of the sizes that you can buy the replacement covers for, and just have a great time growing some fantastic exotic vegetables. I did stop filming at the end of last year, but I even got a melon out of this, so it really does open up a whole nother avenue to the garden, which is fantastic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching the video and that you did learn a thing or two about the polytunnel at least. If you have any questions, please whack them in the comments. I'll reply to every single comment that I get. And it's a bit weird for me filming a informational style video. It's not really my style. You know me, I like to ramble on a bit and just pot around the garden. But I hope I didn't do too bad and that you did learn a thing or two. And I will see you in my next video where I'll just be winging it as always. Maybe a little seed sowing video. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take care and have a great growing season.